What's going on, guys? Today is Sunday afternoon, and this is going to be a video of a little bit different content than what you're used to seeing on my channel. The reason I'm coming to you, I wanted to let you guys know that there's a property on my channel you will no longer be seeing. I'm going to give you just a tidbit of backstory, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. I got fired by a client that I've had for 15 years. And the way I got fired was, in my opinion, very, very unprofessional. This client texted me at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night a week ago. And that is not the time to conduct business. That's just my opinion. If you have something to discuss with me, or anyone for that matter, if business hours are from 8 o'clock Monday till 6 o'clock Monday, or 5 days a week or whatever, that's when you conduct business. Well, this client decided to take the coward's way out. And let me give you a little bit of backstory and tell you what happened. 5 years ago, Hurricane Matthew came through, and their yard completely flooded, their basement filled with 8 feet of water, and they had to do a lot of repair work. That is not their fault. They did research. This gentleman was like me. When he wants something done, he does tons and tons and tons and tons of research before he makes his final decision to move forward. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem came in where, when the company he hired to put a water removal system in his basement, instead of carrying the plumbing to the street or into and dump it into the ditch and put riprap around it to discourage erosion, they put the outlet pop-up things right in the middle of the yard. Well, what do you think that's going to do when you start mowing the lawn, especially in the summer, especially when you have a summer that's been as wet as what we've had around here in this part of North Carolina? It has been wet. Well, I'm going to put a couple of clips of that yard the last time we did it right here. All right, guys, we're on the next job. We're not going to record doing this one, but I did want to show you the edging. This is flip edging, and that's that section. And here's this section. Guys, this is how much rain we've had. Look at this. The water is still standing on this job. I cut this last time we cut it. I cut it to 2.5 inches, and look at it. It's just, it's so wet and so hot. It's got the grass jumping. So anyway, we'll show you. Well, let me peek at you this way. We'll show you the after when we're done. Here's Nate putting the blower back on the trailer. We done, ain't we? At least, huh? You're not red. You got a little bit of dirt around your eyes where you had your glasses on, but other than that, you're good. I did want to show you what it looks like from this direction. There was just too much to do here to film actually doing the cutting, but I did want to bring you up here and let you see the striping. That is St. Augustine, and it stripes beautiful. It's got Bahia grass mixed in it, but for the most part it's St. Augustine, and that's cut on 2.5 inches, and it stripes absolutely beautiful. Now, what you just saw was the evidence of the way the sump system works. It pulls the water out of the basement, and it fills up the canister buried under the ground in that section of the yard, and then when it gets to a certain point, the top pops up and flushes the water out into the yard. Well, if you noticed where Clifford was sitting, that's where the water pools, down in that lower area. And no matter what I did, I could not prevent the mower from mowing up and tracking up the yard. I did everything I knew to do. Well, what the gentleman eventually, what he was getting around to wanting me to do, he wanted me to weed eat an area that was the size of that out there. I'm not doing that, not for what you're paying me. If you want to pay me more money, then that's fine. I will do that. I don't want to do it, but I would do it to satisfy the client that I've had for 15 years. Well, I was really upset by that, because what they did, what the other company did that messed up his yard, was not my fault. But the excuse he gave was I needed to find properties that were better suited for my mowers. Now, guys, I've had the same mowers. Well, I don't have the same mowers. That's not true. I've had a Gravely for, let me see, 15 years. I got my first Gravely in 2008. And then I mowed with that machine up until I bought the one I have now. And I had the Craftsman, which weighed more than my Ariens does. It weighed like 80 pounds more than my Ariens does, and with me sitting on it, it weighed almost 300 pounds more. So there you go. Well, anyway, the way this gentleman handled that, I didn't take time too kindly to. If you're not man enough to call me and talk to me in a respectful manner and kind of try to work it out first before termination is issued, then I'm not your problem. And I think what it was, he wanted me to do the weed eating he requested for the same price. And I told him I couldn't do that. And I think that's what ultimately made his decision. But my problem is not getting fired. I've been fired from jobs before. I mean, you know, people move or you know, life situations changes. I had one gentleman let me go because he just found out he had cancer and all of his money had to go into treatment. I completely understand that. That's not a problem. But I've been in business for 24 years. I have never been fired over the lack of quality of my work. And see, that right there is the problem. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of details. You saw the clips. Now, what you saw when I was talking to Nate, you saw, if you look at the grass, back up the video and look at the grass, you'll see the brown marks in the yard. That was unavoidable. You saw the water that was standing in the grass. And he wanted me to weed eat that whole section. And I just, for the money that I was being paid, I couldn't, because it would take probably 30 minutes extra to weed eat that section of grass. And the money wasn't there. Now, is it all about money? No, it's not. But I've had issues with this customer before, and I'll tell you exactly what I mean. They had a party or a gathering at this property, at their house. And one of the ladies that was there, I do not know who this person is. I never saw him. The party was over before we went back, because that is a bi-weekly property, and the party took place the week after I came, and the week before I came. So it was on the off week of me being there. Well, one lady told this gentleman, and parents, if your kids are watching this video, fair warning now, I'm fixing to use a word I don't normally use on my channel. So I'm going to give you a 10-minute countdown, and I want to let the folks at my church that'll be watching this video know, forgive me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is your last warning. This lady said to him, and I quote, "Your yard, man, ain't worth a shit. Your yard looks terrible." And that's and ever since that time, and this was probably 6 months ago, ever since that time, I have not been able to satisfy that person. I don't know why. I don't know what the opinion of someone else mattered, but I have not been able to satisfy them. And actually, I was kind of looking for it and I hoping it wouldn't happen, but I knew that it was probably inevitable because of the amount of complaints over nothing I was getting. I mean, nothing. You know, you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, or you didn't come at the very hour I wanted you to come. That was how petty this person was getting. And it wasn't like I hit your car, I busted a window, I knocked down, I run over a tree, or I damaged a bush or something like that. It wasn't anything like that. It was the pettiest of stuff. I know one time his wife complained that she had a conference call of some kind to be on at 11 o'clock, and I didn't come until right in the middle of the conference call. I don't have any control over stuff like that. I go when you're the next in line on the route. That's when I arrive. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know why you wouldn't be seeing that property on my channel anymore. And if the gentleman calls me back in 6 months, I won't be taking him back. Not because it didn't pay well. Oh, it paid very well. But for what he wanted me to do extra, he wasn't willing to pay extra money. And I can't do that. I'm in business to make money and support my family. I'm not in business to do work for free. But anyway, I know this is a little bit different video than what you're used to hearing, what you're used to seeing on my channel. And for that, I apologize. But I didn't want a bunch of questions. How come you're not doing thus and such property anymore? I don't see that on your channel anymore. I wanted to address it firsthand and let you guys know what happened. So anyway, this is Brian with Big South Outdoors TV, reminding you to live big, live southern, and live outdoors. Until we meet again, folks, have a good one.